Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video update on why my motovlogging setup finally sounds good. Now if you haven't heard it, here's a recent sample.
This is such a nice engine talaga. CP2. No, this one. CP2.
My old setup was basically the DJI Osmo Action 3 with this FCP X5. So this is basically a cheap copy of the original DJI mic. And I plugged it into the camera using FCP's own USB-C adapter with one of the two mics velcroed inside my helmet and the other mic inside my backpack. And here's what it used to sound like.
Ang dali off-road! Kota na ako pag uwi, magkakaili na lang ako. Ayoko na.
So as you can hear, there's definitely issues, especially with the helmet mic, because I guess these cheap capsules inside these mics really can't deal with having my mouth so close to the microphone inside the helmet. And basically, the worst part is that over time, this flimsy USB connection, I don't know if you notice, is actually like a little bit bent already. This connection started becoming unreliable, causing my audio to cut out randomly or disappear entirely. So basically, finding the right audio solution was always a headache with the DJI Osmo Action 3 because you could never lower the audio gain on the camera enough to prevent wired mics from peaking. So I did eventually find the solution. I used to use a clunky attenuator setup to get around this. And while the results were decent, it eventually literally fell apart. And I just don't like these unreliable MacGyver solutions over time. They're not a joy to use. Another time, still unwilling to spend for a better solution, I even made the mistake of using the wrong USB-C to stereo adapter. And basically, it was this Samsung adapter that was recommended on DJI forums, but I didn't know that it had built-in noise reduction that you can't turn off, which is why my takadang vlog audio sounded terrible. Just listen to this.
First cut. There's the first cut. And now we see what we're up against.
So finally, after trying everything else, I finally decided to throw money at the problem. I upgraded to a DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro and the DJI Mic 2 kit with 2 transmitters. Now, this wasn't cheap. It set me back almost 50,000 pesos or about $900 US, which frankly, I'm not making back from YouTube. However, you can save some money by opting for the much cheaper DJI Mic Mini, which is less than half the price of the DJI Mic 2, and you mainly lose out just on the internal 32-bit float recording. For your information, I opted for the Mic 2 because I also need it for my professional video work. Now, the big advantage of going all in on the Osmo audio system is fully wireless connectivity. I don't need to plug anything into the Osmo Action 5, which now gives me a fully waterproof setup as long as my visor is closed. And now, the reason it needs to be the Action 5 and not the cheaper Osmo Action 4 is that the Action 4 only supports one channel Bluetooth mic connection. But again, my setup requires 2, one mic in the helmet and one in the backpack for the exhaust sound. Otherwise, I would have gone for the Action 4, which is cheaper and has a more natural looking, less HDR, iPhone-y looking image. Another benefit of upgrading to the Action 5 from the Action 3 is how much better it handles low shutter speeds, basically with an ND filter on. Look at the really bad motion blur artifacts I got from the Osmo Action 3 using a low shutter speed and with the electronic stabilization enabled. With the Osmo Action 3, you needed to turn off the stabilization to get decent results with low shutter speeds. But that meant headache-inducing videos on anything but the smoothest roads. Now compare this now with the Action 5 at 1/50 shutter speed using ND8 to ND32 filters with the stabilization on. What I see happening here is that it seems to automatically reduce the stabilization to lessen the motion blur artifacts, among other things, I'm sure. Now, of course, to do this, you just set your exposure to manual and then set your shutter speed to 1/2 times your frame rate. So, well, 1/50 for 24 frames and 25 frames, 1/60 for 30 frames, and 1/120 for 60 frames per second. Then you set your ISO to auto to adjust for variances in illumination. Roughly speaking, ND8 is for cloudy days and like open shade. ND16 is for morning or late afternoon sun, so bright but not super bright. And ND32 and beyond for really bright noontime sun. I also prefer to shoot in 10-bit D-Log-M for maximum flexibility, and make sure to turn on the Action 5's higher bitrate option deep in the menus. You may not need to. Some upgrades have just been wasted money, but this upgrade I'm really happy with. Again, I can't say it's gonna pay for itself, but I'm really enjoying the results, so I shoot a lot more, and that counts for something. Again, what I do is I just insert one mic with a Velcro backing into my helmet, stick it on the Velcro inside my helmet, and then insert the second mic somewhere in my backpack where it won't move around so much and kind of record all of this rustle inside the bag. And then I make sure to set the mic gain to the minimum -12 in the Action 5 settings. And then of course afterwards, in Final Cut Pro, I convert the audio track from stereo to dual mono like so, and then select the helmet mic alone, and then duplicate that and switch it to the backpack mic and basically layer those two together. This is what the helmet mic alone sounds like.
Ah, this is such a nice engine talaga. CP2. No, this one.
And this is what the backpack mic alone sounds like. Here's how they sound together.
Ah, this is such a nice engine talaga. CP2. No, this one. CP2.
Now, I can mix these two tracks as I see fit, as I sometimes lower the helmet mic audio when I don't want you guys distracted by what we're talking about, or maybe if there is a bit I'm too lazy to translate to English from Tagalog. If you don't do this, if you just leave it as is, you'll get helmet audio on one side and exhaust audio on the other, which can sound off-putting, especially when listening with earphones. And you can't change the audio levels individually either. Try listening to this.
Ah, this is such a nice engine talaga. CP2. No, this one. CP2.
Now, unfortunately, there is one disadvantage to this system compared to my old one, and it's that if you leave the camera off for too long, I think it's 15 minutes, the mics automatically switch off, meaning the next time you turn on the camera, you're getting the built-in mics. Not good. Now, as far as I know, there's no way to disable this. I've tried disabling auto off from this, the DJI Mic 2 receiver. However, since connecting via Bluetooth bypasses the receiver entirely, it doesn't prevent auto off. So please let me know in the comments if you found a way around this, because frankly, this is my only pain point with this setup. So basically what I do is I just need to periodically turn the camera on or just leave it on, wasting battery, to make sure that the mics don't shut off. This was never a problem with the cheap mic connected to the camera via a receiver. But it still works decently because the Action 5 has a longer lasting battery out of the box. And yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to give you guys an update. I'm really enjoying shooting with this, and so I just thought I'd share how I finally solved my audio woes. Let me know if you have any questions and suggestions in the comments below. So hope this helps, and thanks for watching.